Good evening. 7 women and 5 men have been sworn in to serve on an Oklahoma.
What they call the coming toxic crisis. OETV's Ken Henson reports.
It was just 3 years ago that Tar Creek in northeast Oklahoma vaulted to national attention when it was declared
as education in Oklahoma, and while their perspectives vary, they all agree on the importance of education to the state's future. One measure of that agreement is the fact that
candidate for governor in 1986.
Clouds will begin to break up tomorrow afternoon and our temperatures will go up, but there is another strong system already on the western horizon. We'll be back with more news and weather right after this.
Voice in Tulsa. They are women in business. Richard Dowdell has a story about them from OETV's studio at Channel 11 in Tulsa.
Tom, women are making up a larger part of the workforce in our...
These women are striking to prove that women's work is also never recognized.
Base got good news today. Major General Richard Burpee announced that employees will be kept...
There's even talk of another front heading our way for Turkey Day. For a look at the weather for tonight and Thanksgiving, here is meteorologist Mike Eckert. Mike?
Tom, it was a cold weekend, a lot of rain. We even had some snow in the state up around the northern portions of the state, around Ponca City, Bartlesville, and around Tulsa. They had about 2 or 3 hours of snow yesterday, but the really heavy snow was up in Wichita, Kansas, just across the border. They got about 4 or 5 inches of the white stuff. Really nice up there. I wish some of that would have made it down into the Sooner State, but it didn't. And temperatures today with the cloud cover really didn't go very far. Right now we have 35 degrees at Gage, 37 out at Clinton. Down at Altus, a little bit warmer with 42 degrees. Oklahoma City, one of the cooler readings with 38. In eastern Oklahoma, not much difference. 38 at Tulsa and 40 degrees at McAllister. Overnight lows last night were not very low or lower than the afternoon highs, basically in the 30s across the state. Altus was the warmest last night with 41 degrees. They soared up to a warm 44, but the biggest spread of the day was Oklahoma City, a low of 35 and a high of 40. So quite boring over the state today. On the national map, cold temperatures over the northeast, the Great Lakes region, and northern plains are in the 20s and 30s. Scattered snow showers around the Great Lakes region, but really nothing too heavy. System moved through us over the weekend, has moved well to our east. Ahead of the system, temperatures are very warm in the 70s and 80s, 82 right now at Miami, while behind the system, temperatures drop off 60s, 50s, and 40s. A lot of rain and drizzle through the middle portion of the Mississippi Valley and southern half of the Ohio Valley. Looks like that will continue moving east away from Oklahoma, and it will take the clouds with it. Looks like tomorrow the clouds over the Sooner State and portions of Texas will begin to break up, and we'll see our temperatures start to warm up a little bit. Out to our west there is a trough, and west of that trough winds are westerly, downslope off the mountain, so they're warming up out in the Rockies. Temperature out there in the 40s and some 50, 70 degrees, one of the warmer readings in the nation at Phoenix. But here comes the new frontal system entering the Pacific Northwest, bringing rain and snow to that portion of the country. Looks like it will bring us some rain during the second half of the week. Our forecast map for tomorrow does show that the front will move into the Rockies tomorrow, bringing them rain and snow. But for us, just look for cloudy skies in the morning, breaking out during the afternoon, and our temperatures should look something like this in the 40s and 50s statewide with partly cloudy skies. I think the far east will be the coolest as they will hold on to the clouds the longest. About 43 degrees over by Salisaw, Fort Smith area, about 46 degrees at McAllister, 46 at Oklahoma City, and the same thing up at Ponca City. While out west looks like they should warm up just a little bit more. The clouds should break probably around mid-morning, about 52 degrees at Altus, 50 degrees at Gage. Guyman should be the warmest with 55 degrees. Our forecast for tonight calls for cloudy skies. It will be cool with some fog around and possibly a little bit of drizzle in far eastern Oklahoma. Winds will be from the northeast 10 to 15, lows in the 20s and 30s. For Tuesday, clearing from west to east, winds east 10 to 15, highs in the 40s and 50s. For Tuesday night, fair skies, cold temperatures, lows in the 20s and 30s. For Wednesday, fair and mild, highs in the 50s statewide with lows in the 30s. For Thursday and Friday, here comes that next system with cloudy skies, more rain. We might be able to see some snow late Friday in far northwestern Oklahoma. Looks like the temperatures will basically be in the 40s and some 50s with lows in the 30s and 40s. We'll be back with more news right after this.
analysts aren't looking for much excitement in the market this week, with the Thanksgiving break coming Thursday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed today at 1185.29. That was off 2.65 on a volume of 69,730,000 shares. Now, the investors are said to be uneasy about prospects for the administration and Congress agreeing on a plan to cut the federal deficits. Treasury Department is working on one aspect of reducing red ink, and that is increasing revenues. The dollar was hot. Dealers in Frankfurt even said that the West German Central Bank intervened on the open market in early trading, and they sold an estimated $70 to $130 million for delivery 3 months in the future. But that failed to stop the greenback's advance. Some of the dealers said the bank's intervention seemed to strengthen the dollar rather than depress its value. Gold was mixed today. News and weather tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for everyone at OETA. Good night.